I'm just rounding up a walk, and this thing just memory from my childhood dropped in my mind. When I was a child, I used to live in a place called Chapel Hill in Takoradi, in the western part of Ghana. And I remember every day after church, there was this man who lived in our neighborhood whom we called Mr. Kujo. Now, Mr. Kujo will gather all the neighborhood children together, teach us Sunday school, Bible verses. He will teach us values. He will teach us a whole lot of things about the stuff that children are not being taught these days. And I believe that for me, I believe that many of the things I've learned in the Bible, or I got to know in the Bible, was through the extra classes that Mr. Kujo gave us. Now, Mr. Kujo, during his class, where we go, he will be like, Christ in you, then will respond the hope of glory. That was in Colossians 24 to 29, I'm sure. And that was our slogan. So everybody would come to class. Hello, everybody. Christ in you. We say the hope of glory. Now, Mr. Kujo, for years, Mr. Kujo would do this training or Bible teachings he would do to the neighborhood kids. And with time, as I grew up to become a teenager, I realized that they shaped my life. Mr. Kujo didn't have much. All he had was his little compound, little kitchen stools, and then he would gather all of us together, and then he would teach us. Sometimes on good days, his wife would cook some jollof, put some chicken pieces on it, and then he would share it for all of us. Sometimes we were 20, 30 children. Through that engagement, we made a lot of friends, we learned a lot of things, and it made us good children. See, it made us good children. Why am I sharing this story? I'm sharing this story to let you know that sometimes you don't have to have it figured all out. Sometimes you just have to start with what you have. You just have to make do with the little that God has blessed you, because you never know. You never know whose life you might be touching. You never know who you might be impacting. Imagine if Mr. Kujo said, okay, I don't have an aesthetically pleasing home to host these children, so I'm not going to do anything. What would have happened to us? Some of the lessons I learned from Mr. Kujo actually guided and guarded my life as I grew up. And as I grew up, I realized that, hey, I also get to impact my children so that they also will impact their children's children. So that cycle of good values is being shared in a generation. I don't know where you are in life. Maybe you are thinking about starting a business and you're like, oh, I need to have this, I need to have that, I need to have all these machines together. Oh, you want to write a book. Oh, I don't have a laptop, I don't have this. See, if you're going to talk about excuses, we can give 1,001 of them. If you're even going to talk about, let's talk about keeping in shape. If you're going to talk about the fact that you don't have time, you can give 1,001 of those excuses. But if you start with what you have, start where you are, and then build on it, I believe that you will not only change your life, but you also change the people around you. Remember, I keep saying on this platform that time is not yours. You're not going to be this young forever. So if you keep sitting down, oh, tomorrow I'll do it, tomorrow I'll do it, tomorrow I'll do it, by the time you realize, you close your eyes and you open, 2025 will be over and you really have done nothing with your life. You would have done nothing with your life. The world does not owe you anything. Nobody owes you anything. If there's something you need to do, this is the time. But I believe in the power of prayer also. I believe in the power of allowing God to guard your life. But when God guards your life, you need to move. When you read the Bible, every time God asks somebody to do something, he asks them to move. Abraham, he asked him to move. Abraham, who is now the father of many nations, who is our father of many nations, he asked him to move. I can give you a lot of Bible stories about Moses. He had to move. Jonah, he was sent and he tried to play smart with God. What happened to him? He was swallowed. So if you do not want to be swallowed by the vicissitudes of life, please, enough of the excuses. Imagine if Mr. Kujo said, I want to sleep on Saturday or Sunday afternoons. These kids can just do whatever. And we didn't have the chance to listen to the Bible teachings that he was giving us. what would have happened to us? Years later, sadly, Mr. Kujo passed on, but I believe that that was his contribution to humanity. That was Mr. Kujo's contribution to humanity. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just start. You have a talent, you have an ability, you have a skill, you have a gift. Do what you have, what you can with what you have. When Moses was faced with the Red Sea, the Egyptians were behind him. He was with the Israelites. They were nagging, they were complaining. God asked him, "What is in your hand?" So, my brother, my sister, I'm asking you today, what do you have? What is in your hand? Start with what you have. The excuses, dear Charlie, we all get excuses, oh. But if we say we want to sit down and then complain and have excuses and excuses, our life is not going to be better. So I'm encouraging you this morning, this afternoon, this evening. Start with what you have. And remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. Remember, faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. So make that step of faith and trust that as you go along, you'll be learning. God will bring people your way to help you. And in doing that, you'll become a blessing to society. Remember, we are in this world to make an impact, to bless others, to touch others with our gifts and our skills, and also to enjoy this beautiful earth that God has given us. So just start. Start it. You can. You have it in you. Start it today. Thank you for watching this episode of Perspectives with Lorrencia. On the move. Love you.